Here's Sports Frenzy 2.0 Weekend Edition, starring the maestro Kevin Crane.
And the conquistador Dave Height.
Welcome to the latest Weekend Edition, dropping on January 15th. We're recording this on the 12th. As always, starting off with our musical segment, we got a song review, and we're going to give you our top 5 lists for songs and albums from 2021.
That's right. We promised that we are going to give you our 2021 music recap. We're going to hold off a bit on TV and movies. We've still got some to catch up on. James Bond. I haven't seen Spider-Man yet. But music, I think we can pull that off. So I think we should count down. First off, albums.
Let's go albums. We can do that.
5 to 1. How about that?
5 down to 1. Son of a bitch if I don't have it written down that way.
All right, you go first or me?
I'll go with this one. Number 5 for me, I'm going Pop Evil Versatile. I enjoyed this one, a number of hits off that. Got to see him over the summer in concert. Very enjoyable album.
Yeah, I saw Pop Evil about four years ago. Enjoyed them. Haven't been able to really get into their studio albums. I've got one of them, but maybe I will make it a point to listen to them in the future.
Give this one a shot.
Now, of course, Dave and I, as much as we align on musical tastes, there are fractures. Let's put it that way.
He goes more lighter. I go more heavier.
And that's where my number 5 album comes in, because this is the one I had a really hard time picking my number 5 album. My top 4 were locked, set in stone months ago. But number 5, I kind of hemmed and hawed. I was thinking about Billy Gibbons. I was thinking about the Foo Fighters. I was thinking about Cheap Trick. But I went with a band that Dave hates. That's okay. I went with number 5, When You See Yourself by Kings of Leon.
There you go.
I enjoy Kings of Leon. I think they're pretty cool. They are not hard rock. You know, they're a little bit more mellow. They're still rock, but kind of Dave Matthews. Say it. Spit it out. Spit it out, Dave.
Worst fucking concert of my life.
I would still hold out hope that you would enjoy Kings of Leon more. I think you would.
I've tried. I can't get into them.
Very solid album from them. Not my favorite from them, but very, very good. As I mentioned, the top 4 were already set in stone. So number 5 was the one I had issues with. I go with Kings of Leon.
There you go. Number 4. Death by Rock and Roll, The Pretty Reckless.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of different vocals around, but an overall solid that I really enjoy, and I love their stuff going back from their first album, and just one of those not overly popular bands that I really enjoy.
They're pretty popular.
They are, but they don't have that huge draw that you normally see.
Then again, I don't know what's popular anymore, what's not. So
me neither, but this is something that I like.
There you go. Number 4 on my top albums of 2021 list is one of our all-time favorites, reliable, dependable. Number 4 is ATB-PO from Night Ranger.
They just missed out in my top 5.
Yep. Very solid. I've loved every one of their albums. I cannot complain about this one. Again, not a clunker on the album.
No, very enjoyable.
Yep. So, of course, typical for me, Night Ranger.
There you go.
If I had a Collective Soul album or a Roger Klein album, you know they're going to make it.
That would have been there.
Yeah. Yep.
So, number 3, another band I got to see in concert, one that we reviewed not long ago. Child of the State, Aaron Jones.
Oh, nice. Yes. Just last week?
Yes.
Right? We reviewed that.
Yep.
Yep.
So really put it up there. It was enjoyable to listen to, in one of those albums that I just kind of gravitated towards.
Yep. And I told you, I thought it was hit and miss. But the first song, The Boys from the Puget Sound, was just, that's the kind of stuff I wanted to hear more of on that album.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that fell short on my list. My number 3 is Tremonti's Marching in Time. And again, I have some kind of weird obsession with Alter Bridge and all the little offshoots, with Tremonti, Miles Kennedy, and Slash. I just think, number one, it's awesome that they keep putting out new music year after year after year in one incarnation or another. Next to the Foo Fighters, I mean, I want these bands putting out new music. So that's why I really get into stuff like this. I hope Aaron Jones puts out new stuff pretty soon. I want to see these bands putting out new music as often as possible.
Agreed. Funny, you should mention Mr. Miles Kennedy, because number 2 on my list is Ides of March. I thoroughly enjoyed this one.
Too bad we're doing a podcast, because right now you can't see my face. I've got a big grin from ear to ear.
Is this your number 2 as well?
My number 2 album of the year is The Ides of March by Miles Kennedy. Yes, Miles Kennedy hit a home run on this one.
Oh my God, this was phenomenal.
Second solo album, much harder than the first. The first was a little bit more acoustic, but this one was a nice melange of all the different styles, all the things he can pull off, from hard rock to a little bit of blues to acoustic.
Yeah,
It's
he hit everything.
Yes. So I agree. Number 2, The Ides of March.
Now we're probably number 1. We're probably simpatico on this one well.
Oh boy.
Mammoth. WVH.
Boom, confetti. How can you not pick Wolfgang Van Halen's first effort with his band? By far and away, to me, the best album of the year.
Best album of the year, hands down.
But I'm shocked you and I agree on the top 2. Wow.
I know.
That's awesome. That is great.
You never know.
Yeah, I figured you might have Mammoth in the top 5, but I did not know you put him at number 1.
That was my favorite album.
Yep.
Top to bottom.
So go ahead and recap 5-1 for the people.
Pop Evil, Versatile. Pretty Reckless, Death by Rock and Roll. Aaron Jones, Child of the State. Miles Kennedy, Ides of March. And Mammoth, WVH, self-titled.
I had number 5, When You See Yourself, Kings of Leon. Number 4, ATBPO from Night Ranger. Number 3, Marching in Time by Tremonti. Number 2, awesome pick, The Ides of March from Miles Kennedy. And number 1, obvious awesome pick, Mammoth, WVH. Fantastic.
There we go.
Now we're going to move on to songs. So you want me to start this one?
Go for it.
All right. Now, I mentioned to Dave, I had done this list for my daughter a day or 2 ago. I did alter my songs from the list I gave her on our podcast versus what I'm going to go with here. I mixed up a couple songs.
Okay.
In terms of, I thought this song was that song. And so...
Now, I will qualify, mine do not necessarily reflect the albums.
No. And that's a good point, because I'm also going to say that I put in a rule for myself. You don't have to abide by this rule. But in the interest of being a little bit more interesting, I could have put like 3 or 4 Mammoth songs on here if I really wanted to.
Easy, but
I decided only one song per band. So I could take one song of my top 5 albums, but I did not. But there is only one song per band that I went with here. So trying to be a little bit versatile.
There you go.
So number 5, of course, as I say that, boring as hell. Title track, or not, I keep saying the title track, the lead-off track from Night Ranger's ATBPO, Coming For You, is my number 5 song of the year. I just think could be the greatest lead-off track of any of their albums. They are still rocking harder than ever 40 years in.
There
and
you go.
Coming For You proves that.
This one, we reviewed the album, and I was extremely disappointed with it from Volbeat for that whole album. But the song I really liked that hit 5 for me that I crank every time I hear it, Shotgun Blues.
I did like Shotgun Blues. I thought that was a good song. I really did.
So,
yeah. And the thing that sucked was, as we talked about when we reviewed that album, and it taints it for me, is the alternate version on the expanded edition.
Oh,
which is terrible.
It's awful. It's god awful, horrific.
Yeah.
And I hated the album because it was all over the freaking place. And yeah, it was a disappointment to me. But Shotgun Blues was solid, and that's my number 5.
All right, number 4 is where I made my alterations, as I mentioned. I actually knocked Coming For You down from 4 to 5, and I bumped up a song from the same band I had at 5, the same act, but a different song on the initial list I made yesterday. I went with Miles Kennedy at number 4. Initially, I had number 5. I had Love Rain Down. Coming For You was 4. As I did more listening today, I listened to like 4 hours of music to prepare for this. I decided, no, that was not the song I was thinking of. Number 4, Wake Me When It's Over. Miles Kennedy is my 4th best song of 2021.
There you go. For me, number 4, Nowhere Generation, Rise Against. It's a nice little beat to it. It's kind of one of those anthem-y type songs that catchy and enjoyable.
Yeah, see, now this is where Dave and I diverge a little bit. Rise Against wouldn't be one of those bands that I would listen to normally.
This is one you might actually kind of enjoy.
And we talked about this off mic. We're going to share ideas from these lists.
Yep.
Since, again, we're getting into lean times in music.
Early on.
Yeah. Before we get some more new releases. So we might listen to some of our suggestions from these lists.
Yep.
Number 3, now I finally get away from my albums, my top 5 albums. I will go with Bitter Taste from Billy Idol is my 3rd favorite song of the year off the EP The Roadside. Great song. Billy sounds fantastic on it. I love the theme of it, how he's dealing with the trauma all these years later of the motorcycle accident that almost killed him. It's a very poignant, very well-written song. Fantastic. Love it. Bitter Taste is my 3rd best song of 2021.
This one for my 3rd, I'm actually going to my number 4 album by Pretty Reckless, Death by Rock and Roll, the title track.
I like that song. I do like
that
song.
Very bluesy, rocky, vocals, phenomenal.
Yes. I have heard that song. I do like it. I do like that one.
So that was early in 2021 that I listened to that a lot.
My number 2 song is a song that Dave, surprisingly, and it made me happy because it was a concert that I didn't know if he'd like or not. And it ended up being the song that I think he enjoyed immensely. Counting Crows, Bobby and the Rat Kings
Yes.
is
Oh
my
my
second
God.
favorite song
Oh my
of
God. I
2021.
totally forgot about Bobby and the Rat Kings.
With-
Loved that song.
With the great drum beat, boom, 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 and it had the Springsteen vibe to it in the lyrics.
Bobby and the Rat King come to play.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Bobby and the Rat Kings, again, Counting Crows and Billy Idol both don't count for albums because they were both EPs. I don't count those.
No, that song was phenomenal. God, I forgot about that.
Yep.
That could have made my top 5 if I would have remembered it.
It happens. Like I said, I had to adjust mine overnight.
There you go.
So Bobby and the Rat Kings for me, number 2 of 2021.
Slash Miles Kennedy compilation River is Rising makes number 2 on my list.
All right. I'm not disputing you because it's an awesome song, but here's where you and I are going to have problems. Just because they released it, I'm waiting. I'm counting it as 2022 because the album is not out yet.
Yes, but I'm going the single.
I know.
Months ago.
I'm disputing you, but I'm not disputing you.
All right. Well, then if you're going to dispute me on that, throw Bobby and the Rat King in there.
No. Just don't be shocked if that song ends up on my best of 2022
That's
list.
Fine. I will not have an issue with it.
Obviously, phenomenal song.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, I would have probably put it in my top 5, but I'm waiting for the album.
For the album.
I'm waiting for the album.
Whatever.
My number 1, and of course, I had a lot to pick from off of this album.
The number 1 album that we picked.
Again, because this is why I put my rule into effect, is that I only wanted to pick one. And this is one you don't like. You and I have talked about this song. You are not a fan of this song, but it's my favorite off Mammoth WVH. I could have picked Feel. I could have picked Don't Back Down. Those were also up there. I like Stone. I love Stone so much.
There you go.
About 6 minutes. Reminds me of like Alice in Chains. It's just got the great epic rock tempo change feel to it.
There you go. Whereas you took that, I took Don't Back Down.
I listened to that today and I was like, oh boy, this is hard to keep off the list. But putting my rules in place.
There you go. I picked up the slack.
With the ending, with the homage of So This Is Love at the end. Dun dun. You got to listen to the song at the end and then listen to Van Halen, So This Is Love at the very end. He is paying tribute to Fair Warning, which he admits, Wolfie admits, is his favorite Van Halen album, along with, he likes Balance. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, that's my least favorite Van Halen album.
Okay.
But everybody has come to appreciate Fair Warning over the years as the most underrated Van Halen album ever.
Agreed.
Did you do concerts at all? Or I figured we could talk about concerts, not really do a list, but kind of recap the concerts we saw this year?
I did not, but we can go through a few of them. If I can remember everything that we went to.
I will guide you because I have my list and I think you might agree with me for the most part. All right. So first one we saw in 2021 was Buffett, Jimmy Buffett.
Yep. That was fun. First time I've gotten to see him. Thoroughly enjoyed the whole atmosphere of it. And I think that's what it was. They were good, but the atmosphere was phenomenal.
I am trying to separate experience from
concert. The concert. That's what makes this one hard. The experience was incredible. The concert, being the first time I saw him, I enjoyed it. But it could have been a little tighter. But that's probably because it was the first stop.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him. I admire him. He's written some great songs, but 2 hours of, Okay, I get it. We're sitting on a beach drinking from a coconut shell. I get it. Can we move on and do something else? I'm not trying to rip on him. We also saw George Thorogood. Good, disappointing to me, just because
we got everything. We got what we wanted, but
it's still a short show.
It was a short show, and it just felt kind of like a canned show.
Yep. Warrant was great. Warrant was fun.
Warrant was fun. God, they were engaging and had a blast.
Yep. Met Eddie Trunk briefly, which was awesome. Counting Crows.
Discounting the openers.
The two openers sucked. We agree on that.
God, they were so awful. But Counting Crows were phenomenal.
And I was happy that you enjoyed them because I was not sure. I felt like it was going to be Dave Matthews 2.0. So I was really happy that you enjoyed that.
Counting Crows was awesome.
Now, of course, the four best that we saw, in my opinion, Sebastian Bach, Steel Panther, Judas Priest, GNR with Mammoth WVH.
Yes, agreed.
Now, we only saw, 8 concerts this year because of COVID?
Unfortunately, yes.
Shockingly, if I had to write, let's go 3. I would say if I go top 3, shockingly, I'd probably put Priest at 4. You know why? Because they didn't play Heading Out to the Highway.
That was the only knock on that
That is
show.
my silver, blue, and gold.
Welcome to my concert hell.
We saw Bad Company years and years ago, and they did not play Dave's favorite song, Silver, Blue, and Gold.
They played some other bullshit song that hardly anybody ever knew.
Something like that.
Oh my God, I still cuss them out to this day.
So I went going from 3 to 1. I went Sebastian Bach 3, Steel Panther 2, and even though we were a football field away, we got 3 fucking hours
out of GNR
plus Mammoth. I mean, even getting evacuated from the stadium, forced to change our seats at the last minute.
Yeah, I
was just really impressed with Sebastian Bach. And Steel Panther was so much fun.
Steel Panther was a blast. Sebastian had fun. You can't go wrong with the small venue.
Right.
So yeah, that would be solid.
All right, kids, there you go. That is our 2021 music recap. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. Hope Dave did.
Always good stuff.
We've got to review one song here and then a couple little music tidbits, and we will move on to movies in the next segment.
Yep.
We have got to review Dirty Honey's remake of Prince's Let's Go Crazy.
This one, very rockin' in their way. Not the Prince poppy that you had. This one had a nasty, dirty edge to it that was very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, this is what I want out of a cover song. Give me a cover song where a band takes a great song and twists it and turns it and makes it their own. Van Halen, of course, was great with that.
Yep.
Local H last year was great with that when they did Prince's When Doves Cry.
Yeah.
And Big Log from Robert Plant. Dirty Honey makes Let's Go Crazy their own. It almost sounds like they've turned it into a mini Led Zeppelin riff.
Yeah.
That guitar riff.
It's got
gets
that
a little sludgier.
And it just,
I loved it. I
thoroughly
give it 3.5. That's how much I loved it. 3.5 frenzies. Yes.
I had 3.
Yeah.
So
when you do
pretty simpatico.
When you're gonna have the balls to do a remake
and totally make it your own and it works.
Yep.
There you go.
Loved it. All right, concert news.
We got
pretty much bad on all fronts for us.
Speaking of Dirty Honey. and Mammoth WVH. We're supposed to see them next week.
Yeah, we thought we'd have a review for you in a couple weeks of. We were going to get the first show on the tour.
We were. Ugh.
And
depressing.
They were set up for the 20th of January, and now all of a sudden the word came down this morning that they are going to postpone due to an abundance of caution. So now it's pushed back to mid-March for us.
Ugh.
Can't say I didn't see it coming.
No, we were waiting for the shoe to drop.
Right.
I'm wondering what's going to happen come February.
You've got a show
because I've got Ghost and Volbeat with the family.
And then in early March, we've got Greta Van Fleet.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. But yes, the Mammoth, WVH, and Dirty Honey, the first handful of dates have been postponed. Be aware of that. The Eagles have extended their Hotel California tour. John Bon Jovi. Don't call him Bon Jovi anymore because it's not. John Bon Jovi is such an egomaniac. He acts like it's just him. So let's just call it John Bon Jovi.
There you go.
They are going out on tour for a month coming up here in the spring. I hope you can take out a second mortgage on your house if you want to see either one of these shows, because we have done our research. Ticket prices for nosebleed seats will run you with fees minimum of $140.
Yeah, that's
not
ridiculous.
Not
Can't
doing it.
Do it. Cannot do it.
Finally, I just want to make a comment on music in general, in terms of what people are listening to around the world in the U.S. Billboard announced the #1 overall album of 2021 across all their charts. This is where cancel culture failed. So I'm kind of happy about this, even though I don't care about his music whatsoever. But Morgan Wallen,
country western.
Morgan Wallen is the #1 overall album of 2021, despite the fact that he made a mistake. He said something he shouldn't have. Cancel culture tried to take him off the board.
And they couldn't.
Yet somehow people still said, we still want to listen to Morgan Wallen.
That's you go.
What we need to do.
Stand up for what you believe and enjoy.
People make mistakes. People say stupid things. People do stupid things. Let's stop selectively picking and choosing who we get to forgive and who we
don't
let pass. I think it shows the American people are willing to forgive and forget. If Morgan Wallen, after what he said and what he did in all the award shows...
Let's just ignore all the social media trolls out there.
So in a way, I was happy to see this.
I concur. Good for him.
We'll have more talk about cancel culture coming up in the next few segments, because that's what we do. We call out the trolls. We call out the cancel culture morons.
All the bullshit.
That's why we do this podcast. That's why we do this, and that's why we curse and we swear and we say incorrect things, is because you're not going to shut us down. You didn't shut Morgan Wallen down. Screw you. Screw your PC crap. We will outlive you. We will be forever. We are Sports Frenzy 2.0.
See you next segment.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
That was supposed to be.
Stuck in a no-win situation? Wife being held captive while your feet bleed? Take a second to decompress. Pull out your smartphone and listen to Sports Frenzy 2.0 on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and Castbox. And don't forget to check out their Facebook page. The Maestro and the Conquistador will take your mind off your dire predicament and give you the best non-PC sports commentary you'll find anywhere. And once you compose your exit strategy and take down some German terrorists, you'll want to yell, "Yippee-ki-yay, Sports Frenzy 2.0!" Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. I'm the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the conquistador, Dave Height.
Glad to have you aboard this weekend. This will hit on the 15th of January, 2022, as we tape on the 12th. And by the way, we're available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and CastBox. Dave, do you want to add any?
And wherever you can find fine podcasts such as this.
Time for movie reviews. I'm going to let Dave start. Dave found a hidden gem on Netflix that he wants to share.
I was scrolling through looking for something new to watch, and The Vault popped up. In a year of heist movies, where we had
Army of Thieves,
this one kind of in that vein, but different. Freddie Highmore, who's the good doctor on TV, never seen the show, but he's a prodigy engineer graduate who's going to have his choice of jobs. Liam Cunningham of Game of Thrones fame there is a salvage operator and treasure hunter who hires him to help retrieve a treasure from the Spanish government. The treasure hunter's looking for the treasure of Sir Francis Drake and salvages from a shipwreck what he hopes will lead him there, but the Spanish government intercepts them before they can clear off. All the treasures put into this uber vault in the basement of the Bank of Spain. And so it comes down to Highmore's character, Tom, to figure out how to get into the vault. All during Spain's run to the World Cup. So they have certain times where they have to try and make this happen. Wow. So much fun. Love the historical part of the World Cup being the centerpiece for them to do the break-in. All the stuff that could possibly go wrong, overcoming the challenges. Just about little over 2 hours, and it flew by. Very engaging. Solid 3 frenzies. Worth your watching time.
And Dave told me he really wanted to watch Don't Look Up, which he'll be reviewing next week.
Not. I was scrolling through and saw that. I'm like, all right, let me see. What is this? I'm watching the previews, and it gets to showing Meryl Streep as the president, and I'm like, I'm out, Jerry. She's the most overrated actress in the history of film. It looked like a completely total pretentious crap fest. I will not give it the time of day.
Which, of course, I told you I wasted half an hour of my life. And that was the movie a few weeks back that convinced me that you were right. Yes, now it's out there forever.
Vindication.
That I should not watch garbage movies. If I get half an hour in and they're garbage, stop watching them. Don't waste another hour and a half of your life.
It's okay to quit on a bad movie.
Yes, and I still don't understand to this day why people are enamored with this movie. Don't Look Up was, for half an hour, absolute pretentious garbage. Overwrought.
That's why the critics probably love it.
Well, and I got through The Power of the Dog, and you didn't because of the same reason. You watched half an hour, and you said
I got an hour into it, and I'm like, why am I'm not going to subject myself to the last hour of this crap. None of the characters endeared themselves to me. The story was
Right.
There was no point. I saw no point in finishing it. I couldn't care less what happened.
Yeah, and I barely got through it. The ending kind of wrapped things up a little bit better, made it a little bit more palatable for me. But again, this movie is winning. It won the Golden Globe for best drama. I gave it 2 frenzies.
I
So
saw
what does
no
that
reason
say?
to finish it. It was garbage.
One other note on the Golden Globes. Of course, Dave and I are not awards people, as you can tell. We don't listen to the critics. We hate the
We
critics.
used to watch all the award shows back in the day until the shit fest that became politically, and all the pretentiousness and the do as I say because I'm better. No, screw you. Weren't we promised an earthquake to put California into the Pacific Ocean back in the 80s?
I'd be happy if they just broke off from America and just decided to be another country, which a lot of the farmers out there in Eastern California want. They don't want anything to do with the politics of San Francisco and LA.
There you go.
The 2 awards I do want to bring up, the one that validates us, Nicole Kidman. We reviewed Being the Ricardos last week.
Right.
Nicole Kidman did win Best Performance by an Actress in a Drama.
Well deserved.
You and I both agreed that she was very good. And the one I want to bring up, you have not watched this yet, but you should on HBO Max. Best Performance by an Actress in a Limited Series, Kate Winslet in Mare of Easttown. I was shocked that Mare of Easttown did not win more than just that one award. Because that was probably, we talked about, we're going to do our movies and TV wrap up here maybe in a month or so, once we get a chance to catch up on Bond and everything else that came out in late 2021. But Mare of Easttown is right now probably in the lead for me for best TV show of the year. That's how good it was. It's the mystery, it's the detective stuff, well acted. The cast is great. Jean Smart's in it. She just won for Hacks. I don't even know what Hacks is.
They're writing some show, I don't know.
But she is in Mare of Easttown as well, and she's great in that too. So we'll see. We'll see what pans out. I do recommend Mare of Easttown to anybody and everybody who has access to HBO Max. My movie of the week is the big budget last HBO Max same day as in theaters release before they pull back on that. And that means I'm going to pull back on my subscription and go to the cheaper with ads version is The Matrix Resurrections. So I have seen all 4 Matrix movies. I did not go back and watch the original trilogy. I've got better things to do with my time.
Especially with 2 and 3.
I've always said The Matrix would have been great if they just stopped at 1. It should have been a standalone. The first one was great. Then they had to, of course, got to make money, got to make sequels, got to make it a trilogy.
And it not a good trilogy.
No, the second one was awful. The third one was okay. Resurrections is okay. I will put it in line with the third one. It's not as terrible as the second. I mean, that weird, embarrassing tribal dancing sequence could be one of the most idiotic moments in movie history for me. At least The Matrix Resurrections is coherent to a point.
That's saying a lot for a Matrix film to be coherent.
For the most part, I understood what was going on. You get in some geek technobabble a little bit in the middle of it.
So it made more sense than Tenet.
Yes, better than Tenet. Better than Tenet. Jesus God, Tenet, so disappointing. I was actually, what I was looking, it's a great comparison with Tenet, but I was actually, while I was watching it, trying to compare it to Dune, since that's more recent. Um, I liked it a little bit better than Dune. Dune is just too,
Saga-ish.
they're both too geekish. I don't think either one of them should expect the normal audience to really understand what's going on. You have to get
I
into
get that.
you have to get into the effects, the sci-fi realm. Like Dune, when we reviewed Dune, I told you the middle part of Dune, when the battle sequences were happening and the sci-fi, the effects and everything in there, I was into it. But Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya, sorry, they have the charisma of a toad and a snail. And people are enamored with Zendaya because she plays Mary Jane Parker in the Spider-Man movies. I'm sorry, she ain't Mary Jane. She ain't. Yes, I'm saying ain't. She ain't Mary Jane. That's a PC crap, is what that is.
Yeah, but she has more charisma in that than she did in Dune.
And I get it. The characters in Dune, even the original movie incarnation with Kyle MacLachlan and Sting. Why is it sci-fi movies the characters aren't allowed to have feelings and personalities? Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, you're right. They're all like cyborg.
They're supposed to take a backseat to the brilliant story that the genius writers have come up with and the special effects.
But the thing that makes a great story are the characters.
And that's what salvages, for me, the Matrix Resurrections to a point, is that they seem to have an idea of what they're doing in terms of making it a little more human. Yes, it's taking place again in a computer system, the Matrix. But in the end, it's trying to be almost Romeo and Juliet with the love story between Neo and Trinity. They botch it at the end. They could have had a great ending. I mean, I was like, if that's where they're going with it, I'm all down with this. That will redeem this movie, make it a great closing saga.
And they blew it.
Yeah, then they sold out and they decided to go for the money.
Ugh.
I won't tell you who the villain is. I could spoil it, but I hate spoilers. But the villain is so disappointing. I will say that I found it really disappointing that they decided we've got to make Morpheus and Mr. Smith younger. So the original actors, Lawrence Fishburne, not in the movie.
Oh, come on.
They had to bring in a younger Morpheus, younger Mr. Smith.
That's crap.
So that ruined part of the movie for me. Now, they did bring in Jessica Henwick, who I love. Wink, wink, love. She played Colleen Wing in Iron Fist.
Oh.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
She's great. She's a great actress, but I love her. She's gorgeous. She plays one of the helpers to get Neo rebooted and back and figuring out how to save everybody and reunite with Trinity. So she was a welcome addition. They brought back Jada Pinkett Smith from the original trilogy. Now, Christina Ricci's in this. I couldn't tell you where.
Okay.
I don't know where she is.
Right,
honestly.
if you're bringing everybody else back, why the hell couldn't you bring back Fishburne and what's his name who played Smith?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's a complete cop-out BS.
And this was another thing that bothered me. They did a lot of flashback memories sequences showing scenes from the previous movies. That pisses me off. That just pisses me. Now the movie
that's weak. That is.
Now the movie was 2 hours and 20 minutes, so 5 minutes total of flashback sequences in the grand scheme of things isn't that offensive. If it had been an hour and 30 minutes with that many flashback sequences, okay, then I'm really mad. But again, I don't need you to keep showing me flashbacks from the first 3 movies. You have to assume I have seen them. Otherwise, what's the point of doing this movie?
Exactly.
They didn't show flashbacks in Die Hard 4 from the first 3 Die Hard movies. Did they?
No, they did not.
I'm being a lot harder on this movie, given the fact that I'm going to give it 2.5 frenzies than you would think. But I did enjoy it. There's a lot of the ending, the climax. Let's call it the climax, not the ending. Is great. That's where I was hoping they were going to go with the ending I wanted. And then, of course, the actual conclusion disappointed me. The one other thing I have to give it a negative for. So I get through 2 hours and 20 minutes of this, and it's pretty good. Again, I enjoyed it. Keanu Reeves was great. He doesn't always look like John Wick. So they do explain that, even though all the ads and all the posters have him with the long hair and the beard. That gets explained.
Okay.
So I was okay with that. So they go to the closing credits, and of course, you always hang around for in any of these action movies, comic book movies, you wait for the bonus scene.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I'll wait for the bonus scene. The minute the credits start, I get assaulted with a remake of a song called Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine.
Ugh.
By some band called Brass Against. And all I'm hearing is some woman screaming, cursing, swearing, talking about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And I'm like, what the hell does this have to do with the fucking Matrix? Other than the fact you're trying to be hip and cool.
And failing.
They're trying to draw some connection between the oppression of the 60s and the oppression of the Matrix.
Okay.
I don't need to hear a remake of a shitty Rage Against the Machine song.
Nobody does.
Flashbacks to Gus Johnson and Aqib Talib doing the Bears game last weekend. Mute. And then they do have a bonus scene. That's the best part. You have to go through all the credits. You have to subject yourself to 2.5 minutes of this.
Yeah, but at least watching it at home, you could fast forward through the crap.
I did. I fast forward all the way. The bonus scene is at the very end. It's 30 seconds. And it is the most stupid, fucking idiotic 30 seconds ever put on celluloid or digital tape or whatever the fuck they put movies on now. Wow. It's like a jokey, stupid thing that has nothing to do with the Matrix. It's stupid. Stupid. Beyond belief.
So, kids, what he's saying is don't bother waiting till the end.
The minute the movie ends, shut the movie off. It's still in the theater, so leave the theater. Leave the theater if you're in the theater. That being said, I still did enjoy it to a point. I will give it 2.5 frenzies. I liked it better than Dune, which again is kind of what I'm comparing it to.
All right.
This cult of sci-fi crap. We talked about the Golden Globes, the few awards that we cared about. Of course, it was not on TV. It was not live streamed because of COVID.
But you know what? That's okay because nobody was going to watch it or stream it anyway.
That's the thing they won't acknowledge. Hollywood can't stand the fact that we don't care. And it's killing them. It's fucking killing them.
Yep. The ratings for every award show has continued to decline with every show every year.
Spider-Man, No Way Home. Again, I don't understand. We're shutting everything down. We're postponing concerts. But somehow Spider-Man No Way Home is in line to become one of the top 5 movies of all time. So somehow we can pack people into movie theaters, and that's okay. But everything else has got to get shut down. Spider-Man No Way Home is now, as of Sunday, this past weekend, at $668 million. Number 6
Woo.
North America all time. Should be number 5 by the time we get to this weekend.
Go Spidey.
It looks like, I looked at the numbers, it will probably top out number 4 all time.
There we go. Which is not bad during the pandemic.
It's ridiculous.
And it's also...
No, I'm happy that it's doing so well, but come on. How can you explain this anomaly where this movie, everybody's
doing so well,
more than willing to pack themselves into movie theaters for this, but then we can't go see concerts. We can't do anything else.
We can't have kids in school.
Hospitals are full. You can't get in an emergency room bed.
You can't go with a family member.
Well, I'm sorry your appendix burst, but there's a 7 o'clock showing of Spider-Man No Way Home you can go see. Would you like me to ring you up for a ticket?
Yeah.
Hypocrisy of this country right now is driving me nuts. Driving me crazy. But one person who does not drive me crazy is the Conquistador, and he has a book review for you, a book review I am very jealous of.
This one, I'm ashamed that it took me this long to get to it because it came out in September of 2021.
Because, of course, Dave reads 4,000 books a year.
I do not. Anyway, continuing. Daughter of the Morning Star, Craig Johnson's most recent Longmire mystery. Oh, love this series. Loved the TV show when it was on.
Amen.
Oh, so well done. And they did a phenomenal job bringing it to the small screen. The character interactions was wonderful, but there's still nothing like the book. And this one, Walt is called upon out of his jurisdiction, kind of acting as a private eye to help a tribal chief's niece who's been getting death threats, trying to find out who's threatening her as the star basketball player for the reservation team. And Walt gets caught up in trying to find out what happened to her older sister who mysteriously disappeared the year before. And as with all of the books, there's that odd supernatural mystique with the whole Indian culture and everything. It does not disappoint. None of the Longmire books have been a disappointment. Solid 3.5 on this one. They all are. You can't go wrong with a Longmire book.
I'm just making another face. I know you can't see it on the podcast. Just making another face because, again, Dave reads a book a week. I read a book maybe a month if I'm lucky.
Ugh.
I have got all the Longmire books except for this one. I have not read any of them.
Ugh, you're killing me, Smalls.
I know. I've seen the series. You know I love the series.
Oh, so damn good.
I was so happy, so ecstatic when Longmire got picked up, when it got canceled by A&E. Netflix picked it up. Good for them. Netflix, that's the good thing about Netflix, is that they will reach out What, they just decided to finish up Manifest
Yeah.
off of NBC.
Netflix, if you're out there listening, there's one show that you need to pick up because we need closure.
They're not going to do it, Dave. It's been, 15 years?
You can still go back to Terriers.
I love Terriers. Dave loves Terriers. One of the first shows on FX. First original dramas, just unbelievable. But we cannot live with ourselves without knowing if they went to Mexico or not.
Did he take him to Mexico or did he take him to jail? Left or right? Ugh.
All this other crap now gets 2, 3, 4 seasons.
There we go.
Can't stand it. But we'll get more into TV and streaming because that's what's up in our next segment.
Stay tuned.
Listen to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition, on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and Castbox, as the Maestro and Conquistador give their reviews and news on music, movies, TV, books, and more every Saturday. They can't help themselves. They have no control over this need to talk and scream. It's inside them. The fire, the voices, the torment.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to the final segment of Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. Taping here on the 12th of January 2022. This will hit the morning of the 15th. I am the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
And it is time to get gloomy.
And doomy.
The Doom Squad. No, wait. The Doom Patrol. Dave finally caught up with his sons.
We finished 3 before you did.
Yes, but I had the first 2 done, so Dave is going to do a recap and review the first 3 seasons, where I just finished season 3. I will give you my views on that particular season.
I think we can just roll right into 3 because it's just a nice progression. Season 1, God, these poor misfit bastards.
I think that's the key. If you have never read a DC Vertigo comic book before, or seen any of the TV shows that were based, Preacher,
yep,
Lucifer, Why the Last Man on Hulu.
I will say season 1, Alan Tudyk as Mr. Nobody sets the tone for the entire season. Breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience is sheer brilliance. And his tone and inflection on everything is the highlight each week. And that's was our favorite part of season 1, was just his commentary on everything. As you start to learn the backstories of these hapless souls.
And the great thing about
dysfunction, oh my God.
Yeah, all 3 seasons, that is the reigning theme, is dysfunction. They can't get out of their own way. They've got issues. They've got problems.
Many varied.
They don't want to be superheroes. They don't admit they're going to be a superhero team until the end of the 3rd season.
Yeah, they don't want to do anything. They say they can't stand each other, but yet they're always there for each other. And it's probably the most dysfunctional family dynamic of misfits ever put on screen. But it's great.
Of course, Timothy Dalton, through the first 2 seasons, plays their mentor, the leader,
Yep.
Niles Calder.
The Chief.
Now, wrapping up season 3, for me, season 3 was a little bit weaker than the first 2.
I agree.
You
didn't get...
I like the intensity of season 2, bringing Niles Calder's daughter in.
Yeah.
And with the destruction she could...
The candle maker.
Wreak with her mind.
Uh-huh.
And the chaos that threw into the Doom Patrol. Of course, Cliff Steele. Awesome. Fuck this. Fuck that. Fuck this.
Fuck.
You give the guy a piece of toast. Oh, look, a fucking piece of fucking toast.
And I can't fucking eat it because I don't have any fucking taste buds because I'm a fucking robot.
And he's by far the best. He's my favorite. I do like Crazy Jane.
Yes.
Definitely. I'm getting a little tired of Larry, the negative man.
Being so negative. And the woe is me,
Jesus
blah, blah,
God.
blah.
I mean, I was
Get over it.
I was okay with it when Matt Bomer plays the negative man. I was okay with the whole thing about, okay, I had to repress the fact that when I was in the Air Force, I was gay, and I was fine with that. That storyline actually worked okay, but now it's just getting to the point where it's just whining over and, oh, I got to take this negative spirit in. Now I got another negative. Oh, my God, now my grown child hates me. Jesus God, dude.
Sack up.
Really? Find your, negative radiation balls, will you?
No kidding. At least Cliff has come to terms with things. Ish. And then Rita.
Rita was the best. Of course, they wrote that so that she would be the focal point.
Right.
For season 3. But Rita definitely has been the best character of the Doom Patrol in season 3. In that they finally got her, she's got a strength now. She's not whining and crying like the other ones.
She's finding her way.
Right.
As a leader.
Yes, she's trying to take over as the de facto leader of the Doom Patrol. So, and it's been renewed for season 4, and it looks like Cliff has got a massive robot body.
Yes. I have to agree with my youngest that we did not have enough of the brain.
Yeah. And of course, I did like the way, though, that Rita took care of the brain.
Yeah, that was good.
That was fitting. That was apropos.
Very apropos. Now, I have to say, I think my favorite episode probably was Vacation Patrol, where they went to the resort and met the Destroyer.
Garguax. I love Garguax.
Oh, that's Cliff. He's good people.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Undead Patrol.
That was fun too, but
brains.
I enjoyed that, but I liked Vacation Patrol.
I think that was the sad thing, was the first part of the season was more fun than the second half.
Yeah.
Where they died, you had to figure out what was going on with Rita and the time traveling. And then they brought in Madame Rouge. She is not an interesting character to me.
No, that was really freaking lame. I could have done without Madame Rouge and done with more brain. I think that would have been more fitting.
Yeah. It's quirky. It's still quirky, and that's what makes it great. And I'll still give it 3 frenzies.
Oh, hands down, yes.
But yeah, a little less Madame Rouge, a little bit more of the original members and more of their trauma. Maybe a little less Larry.
A lot less Larry.
Yeah. But
I toned down Larry's angst.
Yeah, do something different with him. I like the character, but I don't like what they're doing with him.
Yeah.
Where season after season, year after year, it's just whining, bitching, pissing, moaning, and crying.
See, now, maybe season 4 will be his resolution because everybody else seems to be getting there.
Right. Well, like I said, Rita's coming out party was season 3, and they put a lot of focus on Jane and Cliff in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah. And even Jane's got some more resolution in 3. Cliff does as well.
Right. Now, Jane's worries me where they're taking that storyline.
Yeah, that's a little... Yeah.
But we shall see as they go to the Suez Canal in season 4 and battle what looks like a pair of hairy balls. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert! It's only been done for 2 months, people. Grow up. It's not like I spoiled Spider-Man No Way Home the day after it came out.
Exactly.
All right, I have tons of movie, TV, and streaming news to go through with Dave here to get his reaction. Red Notice, which I thought was okay.
It was decent.
Netflix was so ecstatic about the results they got from, I don't know, ratings, viewers, subscribers, whatever.
We get Red Notice 2
and 3.
Oh, Jesus, already?
We're going to get a back-to-back sequel filming in 2023.
Hey.
Supposedly everybody's coming back, but they want to make it more like
an
ensemble.
But is Jeff Goldblum going to be there?
They want to make it more like, the rumor is they want to make it more like an Ocean's 11 type of thing where they bring in more people to join Reynolds and The Rock and Gal Gadot.
Depends on who they get. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay, you just reviewed in the last segment a heist flick.
Yes. I'm not over the moon about the Ocean stuff.
We've talked recently about Army of Thieves.
Right.
I'm over it. Okay? I'm over it. I didn't think Red Notice was that great to begin with.
But we don't need to go 2 and 3 already. No. I could do 1 more, but not 2 more. And speaking of sequels on Netflix, when the hell do we get Extraction 2?
Supposedly in the works. My favorite movie going back to 2020. That was my favorite movie of 2020.
Mine as well.
Loved Extraction. We have to make a commitment to the boys. That came out wrong.
Amazon Prime's series, The Boys, where mortal men take on the supers.
Season 3 will hit on June the 3rd on Amazon Prime.
My boys and I are trying to dedicate ourselves to watching it.
I watched the first episode years ago when it first came out, and it was dark, and it was, I don't want to say horrific, but it was really disturbing, but it was fantastic. And I don't know why I didn't stick with it. It's kind of like Bosch. I don't know, Amazon Prime for some reason. Of course, that will change in a couple of weeks when Reacher comes out, because I will be watching Reacher.
Oh my God.
Every new episode comes
Reacher
out.
will be the new must-see streaming TV.
But we've got to start watching The Boys. We've got to.
We have to.
I know your boys love playing the video game Fallout.
They do.
There is a Fallout series coming to Amazon Prime. Live action.
That could be intriguing.
There is also, on the downside, CBS is going forward with a female-driven reboot of The Honeymooners.
Why?
Because if you haven't noticed lately, all the award shows, Amazon, Netflix, HBO Max, over-the-air TV, as we used to call it, sucks balls right now.
It does.
ABC, CBS, NBC, there is no creativity. It's all Law and Order. It's all Chicago PD Fire, Grey's Anatomy.
Or you wind up having to steal ideas from the BBC.
A female-driven reboot of The Honeymooners. I mean, literally. That's got to be one of the stupidest ideas I have ever heard.
It'll flop.
Possible good news. We used to like the CW. We used to watch stuff on the CW.
We did.
Supernatural, The Flash when it was good, Arrow
when it was started.
The CW could be up for sale. So maybe
Sports Frenzy.
Yeah, we'll take it over in the. Oh boy, I would take the Flash and I would revamp that fucker.
Everything would be revamped.
I'd give Barry Allen back his fucking balls and actually make him a man again.
Yeah, no kidding.
But again, since they haven't been sold yet, they have to do something stupid. We've been talking so much over the last couple months about heard this rumor about Zorro. Heard this rumor about Zorro. Now the CW says they're going to have a Zorro TV show with a female lead.
Of course they are. Why wouldn't they?
Do these executives not have any awareness of what they're doing?
No, they don't. None whatsoever.
Did anybody notice how this movie, The 355, debuted this past weekend with this all-female action cast? And they were all kick-ass women, big-name actresses, made $4.5 million, which is an absolute joke. Because nobody wants to see it! Except all you fucking millennials who somehow got jobs at all these major networks and movie studios.
And not even you went out to see it, obviously.
The idea is to make money for your company, not to push a political fucking agenda.
And there you go.
God, I can't wait for all these fuckers to go down in flames.
The premise I kind of liked, but I did not like the cast. It could have been well done. The potential was there, but even the previews looked abysmal.
I heard that it was not any better than the Charlie's Angels stuff.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, that's bad.
You remember that? That's when all this shit started.
Oh, God.
They couldn't even do Charlie's Angels right.
The TV show got it right. The movies effed it up.
Now, Fox is getting into this game of fucking up properties, movies that I love. Now, I don't remember if you saw this movie or not. This is the brainchild of Taylor Sheridan, the genius behind Yellowstone. But this is going back about 6-7 years. Remember Hell or High Water?
Vaguely.
With Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine, where the brothers were robbing banks and Jeff Bridges was a Texas Marshal.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember it.
It was unbelievable. It was one of the best movies I've seen in ages. They're going to redo it as a TV show. Without Bridges, without Pine, without Ben Foster. They're basically going to redo the whole movie.
Of course. Why not?
I don't understand what the point of that is. Why do you take the movie and just redo the fucking movie as a TV series?
Because they have no brains.
Because if anybody saw the fucking movie, you know there's no sequel coming. You know there's no way to extend the story.
Because
redo the story again?
Hollywood is full of morons who have no creativity. That's the crap you get.
We need to take over Hollywood. We need to take over. This is just getting so fucking ridiculous. So we're going to take Hell or High Water, one of the best movies of the last 6-7 years, and we're going to redo it without Jeff Bridges, without Chris Pine, without Ben Foster,
And you're gonna
and we're just going to redo the story over again. We all know how it's supposed to end.
You're gonna take a 2-hour movie and try and make a how many episode season?
I know.
Absolute
8,
stupidity.
13?
Complete stupidity.
That's the other thing. I don't know anymore where they're going to go. How many episodes? Nobody knows anymore. Like we talked about, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season 15. 8 fucking half-hour episodes. Who knows what a season is anymore? All right, another.
Bastardization.
I don't like this because the series of movies ended the way it should have. And I've been worried about this and scared about this for years. But they finally decided they're going to do Final Destination 6 for HBO Max.
Just let it go.
It ended. 5 ended perfectly.
You don't need a 6. Oh, good. Some things you just leave alone.
My daughter and I love these movies. We have watched them together at least twice. From 1 to 5.
So well done. Don't F it up.
But they have got to, Dave. They've got to F it up. Finally. Before we move on to a lot of moments of silence, this one encourages me. I know you don't have Disney Plus, but I am an old school Marvel guy. Supposedly this Halloween, they're coming out with a Halloween special, a Marvel Halloween special on Disney Plus, featuring one of my favorite Marvel characters from the 70s, Werewolf by Night. Jack Russell will be featured in this Marvel Halloween special.
You know they're going to screw it up.
Shut up, Dave! He's one of my favorite characters from the 70s, along with Shang-Chi and Iron Fist and Moon Knight. Why are you going to screw me like that?
I'm not. Disney Plus will.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I'm just preparing you for the letdown you know is coming, but do not want to recognize.
Fuck. Yeah, I know. Fuck. They're going to screw me again. All right, we do have to pay tribute to a lot of people in the entertainment realm that passed away this past week. We have, I'm going to start small and get bigger.
There you go.
So Peter Bogdanovich, acclaimed director, The Last Picture Show, great movie. I remember that.
Yep.
Johnny Carson's brother, Dick Carson, passed away. Calvin Smith, singer for Parliament Funkadelic, passed away. And Dwayne Hickman, who played Dobie Gillis, passed away. And that's just the aperitif.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Two big names. Do we go comedian first? The passing unexpectedly of Bob Saget, America's TV dad from Full House, sadly passes away.
Yeah, and it was 65 years old, and I hate to hear that. I mean, part of me is happy that it looks like it was his sleep.
Yeah, it was
in a hotel room.
Yeah,
nothing happened. Drugs, no alcohol, no foul play, but that makes you think. 65, that's young.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
That's sad. And then acting icon, one of the greats, Sidney Poitier, has passed away.
Groundbreaking actor, of course. In the Heat of the Night.
Yep. First black actor to win an Academy Award for Best Actor. And everything he did was so well done.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
To Sir with Love.
Yep.
I mean, so good again in everything he did.
Yeah. And unfortunately today we also lost, just here right before we started taping, Ronnie Spector.
Yep. Of the Ronettes.
Of course, those of us who grew up in the 80s remember her more for the refrain in Eddie Money's classic Take Me Home Tonight, where she went back to her classic song and sang Be My Little Baby.
Yep.
In the middle of Eddie Money's song. The melding of two great genres of music.
Yeah.
Very sad week for entertainment. Really very sad.
Yeah, because you're seeing all the greats and the future's not necessarily looking bright.
No. Yes, and we do have dumbasses this week. The Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week awards are not skipping out on the weekend edition. Number one is a follow-up from last week. So I'm trying to make Jon Stewart my LeBron James of dumbasses in entertainment. Because remember, last week Jon Stewart was a dumbass because he said he had discovered anti-Semitic goblins in the Harry Potter movies.
Guy's a fucking moron.
But now Jon Stewart comes out and says, I in no way, shape, or form ever implied that J.K. Rowling was anti-Semitic. Then shut your fucking mouth until you do your research. What did Dave and I say last week? We said production designers, producers, directors are
special effects guys
are all involved in making the look of the movie.
The author had nothing to do with the movie.
Yet Jon Stewart once again gets a stick up his ass and's got to start ranting and railing.
And he gets a fucking pass.
I'm the genius of all time. I have decided that the Harry Potter movies are anti-Semitic. But now he has to backtrack and say, but J.K. Rowling's not anti-Semitic.
No, you're just a douchebag.
I'm trying to figure out, I think I have 12 seats on my plane. And who I had, Pelosi and Schumer. And now I want to put LeBron James, Jon Stewart. Oh, wait, no, we don't want the black helicopters. Aaron Rodgers, yes. I'm going to have to make a chart.
We're going to have to chart this out.
Who do we sit next to each other for maximum efficiency?
Oh, you know Colbert's going to be there.
Oh, God, yeah. God, yeah. I want to put him as close to the fuel tank as possible.
How about we... Oh, God.
Oh, Jimmy
Kimmel's got to be in the fucking luggage bin.
The head of ABC just came out and said, I hope Jimmy Kimmel's with us until the day he retires. I'll put him on the plane and I'll retire him for you, trust me.
Oh, well,
the Sports Frenzy Plane of Doom. That's what I'm calling it.
If there's not enough room, we're shoving Jimmy Kimmel's ass in the overhead
storage bin. That's our next
bin.
segment. We are creating the Sports Frenzy Plane of Doom with 12 seats.
And overhead storage.
We will set up 12 seats for our hated 12 people, the hateful 12. And if we have to boot somebody off, if they do something nice, we'll do that.
No. We've got overhead storage. You can dismember and fit them in.
That's what I was thinking, too. The first thing I was thinking of when you said overhead storage was, oh, crap, it's going Tarantino, isn't it? We're going to start chopping people up. Scarface.
We're not talking 8 heads in a duffel bag, kids.
Oh, God, I got one more. But I don't know if I can top what we've been doing here with the Sports Frenzy Plane of Doom. But we've talked about it in the first segment. We've talked about with the touring and the concerts and how we're just still dealing 2 years into COVID with delays and cancellations. Now we've taken this too far, and if it goes further to the point where I think it's going to go, then I think we're doomed as a society. Metallica and Tool are both now using COVID sniffing dogs backstage. Anybody with backstage access has to get through COVID sniffing dogs in order to get to where they need to go.
All right.
If the dogs sense something, the people are prohibited from going any further. If they start using this crap,
can I call bullshit?
You can call
on COVID sniffing dogs. Really? They've been able to teach them that quick.
Oh, there's a company. There's a company that leases out COVID sniffing dogs.
Jesus.
And I'm telling you, if they go to the point where they have them at the front gates, right now it's just backstage. If they put them at the front gates and you and I, as ticket holders going to see a show, have to go through COVID sniffing dogs and a fucking dog says, no, he's got COVID, he can't go through.
Bullshit.
End of society as we know it.
I
love dogs,
ridiculous.
but this is ridiculous.
This whole thing is out of control.
We got to wrap it up, kids. Check us out next week. We will be back and badder than ever.
Or as bad as we want to be.
That's right, with the Sports Frenzy Plane of Doom. Check you out next week, kids. See ya.